Everybody, welcome to our immigration podcast. We do all things immigration in the United States. We do it once a week. We do it for free, and we try to get you guys to know what's happening in the world of immigration. All right, this week we've got 5 topics we're going to hit. 4 topics we're going to hit. We're going to hit, number 1, the EB visa backlog. 280,000 visas available this year. We'll talk about that briefly. We've also got a quick tip on the special juvenile immigration status, CJIS program. Some changes and developments happening in that program right now as we speak. We're also going to talk a little bit about the EID requests and what's happening out there right now, because that is a difficult situation that has not gotten better. Finally, we're going to talk a little bit about the Dreamers and the DACA program, some news and some information on what we have. All right, let's go. First off, as you know, the employment-based visa bulletin, which is green cards for individuals in the EB1, EB2, EB3, and skilled worker categories. These are green cards that come out of an employment-based system where an employer sponsors somebody, and in very few cases, people can be self-sponsored for an employment-based green card. All right. What we're talking about is the fact that every year in the last 3 years, specifically last year and this year, it looks like it's going to happen again, immigration has an allotment of numbers. They have 280,000 this year. That's almost double what they are allotted each year. I think they're allotted about 160,000 a year. So they're at 280,000, 120,000 more available this year. And those have to be used up and finished before October 1st. That's when the government calendar year ends. What we're looking at right now is another tragedy unfolding right in front of our eyes, as immigration has not pledged to complete all those numbers. In fact, what's happening is people are noticing backlogs at different centers, and you're seeing approvals come from people with different priority dates. So for example, there are some people with 2014 priority dates getting approved, getting their visa given to them, while people from 2012 are still waiting and their case is pending. So in my experience, what I've learned from being with immigration and working in this system for over 20 years is that there's a way to sort of reserve numbers. And basically this used to happen in court, and it even happened when I would visit immigration and I'd do an interview with an officer. The officer would end up saying, or the ICE officer in court would say, hey, look, I'm going to get a visa reserved to make sure it's allotted to this individual, and as soon as I do that, the case is going to be fine. And we used to see this all the time in court, as well as with immigration, that in September of the last month, you'll see officers run off, get a visa reserved, to make you wait, come back 20 minutes later, say, all right, the visa's reserved for this individual and his wife and kids. Don't worry about it. You got your papers filed and you're reserved. And that meant to us that even though it's September 15th or 20th and October 1st might come, the case is still going to be approved with the visas that are allotted for the year. Okay? The visas get used up. So what we're seeing right now is this slow process. We're seeing immigration do the same thing they did last year, and we're seeing unused visas go off the table and not being used. USCIS needs to reserve visas. They can do it. They can grab a case, they can reserve the visa, they can allocate it to that individual and their families and take those numbers out of the pool. It's just that they're not bureaucratically set up, to be efficient. They're not set up to look for ways to use up the numbers. They move at their own pace. So at this point, we're seeing the conversation grow. It's all over social media, and we need USCIS to act. If you are interested in making this happen, call your representative. You pick up your phone, you call them, you say, tell USCIS to use up their 280,000 visas or green cards for this year. Tell them to reserve cases now, so we can see this backlog get reduced. We have more opinions on that another time, but just for now, that's where we're at today. And we hope that USCIS takes this into account and uses this last quarter, okay, to get these things done. All right? Okay, moving on, we want to talk a little bit about CJIS, which is the Special Immigrant Juvenile Status. Now that program has essentially individuals who are under 21, and depending on what state they live in, if they're here without their mother or father, those people can get a green card. Now, this is a bit more detailed, but I wanted to put it out there anyways. CJIS allows individuals who have been neglected, abused, or abandoned by their parents to get a green card. And what's happened is a lot of cases have been filed with immigration showing abandonment. The abandonment being something where individuals cannot return to their parents. Now, the big thing that we're seeing right now, it's a growing trend, is RFEs by immigration. And immigration is saying it's not enough that they're abandoned. You have to prove that the child cannot reunify with their parents. Okay, reunification is part of the law. So when you look at a CIGIS case based upon abandonment, you might get the judge's ruling from a state court based on abandonment, but immigration is still challenging those under the aspect of reunification. Keep that in mind as you go forward. It's a big deal. It's a big fight coming on with CIGIS cases. All right, so as you know, USCIS announced a program to expedite EADs because, if you haven't been listening, EADs have been taking 13 months to get approved. Crazy. So the EAD expedite request, we're going to put up a little sheet right here. This is a tweet from a doctor, I believe her name is Snell Hall Peds, MD, talking about her request to expedite. If you take a look at this tweet, you'll see she's a medical doctor. She's worked in a hospital in the United States, worked with in regards to the COVID outbreak, and her EAD expired, and she requested an expedite, and she was given the same runaround that every other person I know has been given: engineer, software engineer, mechanical engineer, school teacher, you name it. I have seen expedite requests go nowhere. And this tweet, if you go through it and take a look at what she said, it's really kind of sad. Talk about somebody on the front line. Talk about somebody helping out the United States and moving forward in a mission that's so important right now. And USCIS cannot even see what's going on. You know, this is a current story ongoing, and we wanted to show it to you guys because we're experiencing it in the few requests that we do. But honestly, when you see a medical doctor working on the front lines get denied a request to expedite an expiring EAD, it makes you wonder what USCIS is really doing. All right, our final story today is about the DREAM Act and the DACA program. The Fifth Circuit heard arguments recently, I believe in New Orleans, about the DACA case that went up through a Texas court, I believe, Fifth Circuit court, a Fifth Circuit district judge ruled that DACA was not legal. So that's coming out. That decision was heard, as an argument's made. And what we got out of that was simply the fact that they're trying to still get rid of DACA completely. Now, in case you don't know, we don't have a decision yet. It will go to this appeals court. Now, the appeals court decision, once it comes out, still is subject to a ruling by the Supreme Court. So there's still another leg for it to go. And at this point, we don't have the decision yet from the appeals court. So keep that in mind. As of right now, the DACA regulations are coming out. As soon as those regulations come out, we'll be in a much better position to know where we stand. DACA regulations are slated to come out in August. That's the Biden administration codifying what DACA is in a way that they believe will fit with some of the precedent that's already happened to keep this program open. Right now, DACA is open for individuals who have had DACA and want to apply for a renewal and are still eligible, meaning no crimes or no new violations in immigration with immigration law. So DACA is still open. Please keep that in mind. What we're talking about is a court decision to really close DACA for forever, and it's going through the system right now. Regulations are coming out in August. We're going to keep you guys updated on that. But for now, that is it. As a reminder, we want to just give you guys a heads up. We have seen a lot of cases speed up with immigration. We have been getting approvals really quickly on chain of status. We've been getting them on adjustment of status as well. And we've relayed all those stories to you guys. If you ever do want to chat with me, please give us a call. We do free consults on Thursdays. But aside from that, we are here for your help. Let us know if you need something. Leave a comment down below. And thanks for tuning in. Take care.